Just give me.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So here is the first question, guys. Our first question is all about Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. So what is that we are supposed to do? Let me give few scenarios. What are the questions will be asked? So right now, you people are going to do all the scenarios in the single question itself. Okay. The first scenario will be when I say Fibonacci series, I think so everyone knows about Fibonacci series, right? So it is a series of number where first number is given as 0 and the next number is given as 1. Summation of these two numbers is going to be the proceeding number. 0 plus 1 is going to answer as 1. 1 plus 1 is going to be 2. 2 plus 1 is going to be 3. 3 plus 2 is going to be 5. 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. And so on, it is going to increase. This is all about Fibonacci series. Now, what is the question is? The question is all about we are supposed to accept a number. Okay, let me narrate the question for you. We are supposed to accept the number. We are supposed to print the first question, first scenario is we are supposed to print nth Fibonacci series. Print nth Fibonacci series, nth number in Fibonacci series. Okay, nth number in Fibonacci series. This is the first statement which you are supposed to display in your program, and followed by we are supposed to generate it. I'm supposed to display the series. So I'm supposed to print the series, print n series. Okay, so these are the two type of question where they ask in Fibonacci series. They'll ask you to generate the n series. For example, if 5 is given, first 5 numbers has to be generated and followed by the fifth number should be displayed. Okay, and followed by it, and you're supposed to display number of digit in number of digit in nth position. Okay, so this could be a question. So right now you people are going to write a program, okay, based on this. So let me give you some sample test cases. So your test case, your program should satisfy, your program should display all the output. So for the test case, let me give test case 1 here. So how many numbers are here? Just 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 numbers are there. Assume that the given number n value is 9. So what is it I'm supposed to print? I'm supposed to print the n numbers. The n numbers has to be printed. The series has to be printed. So first n series should be printed. First n series should be printed here. This is the output. And nth position number has to be printed in your output. Nth position number is 13. And number of digit in the particular nth position is 2. Clear with the question? So given all the possibility of this particular Fibonacci series, they may ask to generate you or they may ask you to display the nth element in the particular position. So nth element and followed by number of digit in the nth position. Just I'm clubbing all those scenario and giving us a one program. Is everyone clear with the question? Will you start program? Will you do programming? Do you have any queries in this question? Is this clear? Respond me. Is everyone clear with the question? Do you have any doubt on it? If people are clear. Okay. Now it's your turn. You're supposed to do programming which satisfies the three condition. All three condition output has to be displayed. Okay. If 9 is the input, the respected output should be this. If this is your input. You can do in the programming whatever you are comfortable with it, guys. Okay. Start doing. So when I take a question, I'll give you all the possible scenarios in a single question itself. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, you can let me know. And those who are completed, you can post your codes in chat box. Either you can just initialize the first two number, or even the particular 01 is also you can generate it. We can write the same program in two different approaches. I believe people could know about it. Sometimes some program can be written by using default initialization like 01, or it is not required to initialize it. Directly you can start doing it. Even that is also acceptable. So from the user, only one input you're accepting, that is the n value. I think it is 8, right? So the given number should be 8. This is the 8th value. Yes, Manikan, just now I noticed it. Meanwhile, 8th value, 9th value could be, we'll get 21. Yes. Maximum guys, whenever you're writing program, just avoid using predefined functions. They'll never give you support of predefined functions. Even though you're writing the program by using Python also, here they'll never give you the chance of making use of predefined function. For each and every logic, you're supposed to do it by your own. Guys, so the computer, you can post the code in chat box. So here one more important thing, guys, as I said, you don't use functions, okay? And apart from this, you are sorry, don't use predefined functions. No predefined functions. And followed by it, write your program by using functions. You are writing program, right? It is always wiser to make use of functions. User defined functions should be made use of it. No predefined function should be included. Make it faster. Not audible. Priyanka, am I audible now? Priyanka, given task for you, when you joined it. Yeah, given a task for you people, your friends are doing. Yes, let me repeat it. I have given a task for doing Fibonacci series. In Fibonacci series, I clubbed more or one or two scenarios all together. So in a Fibonacci series, if n is given like 8, you're supposed to generate first 8 number, followed by the 8th position number has to be displayed, and followed by number of digit in the 8th position has to be displayed. Okay, so this is what I have given. Make it faster, guys. Try to complete within 6:30. At least if you are doing it faster, you can just see some 4 or 5 scenarios by today. As I said, you can just post your answer in your comfortable language. You can just go it one by one, guys. So I given the same scenario how we are supposed to do it. Generate it and check whether the generation has reached nth time. So once it is reached nth time, try to display the number at the particular position, then followed by try to find how many digits are there. Okay, just a minute. Someone else has posted the answer. Let me see to it. Sri Lekha has posted. Just a minute, Sri Lekha. Okay, fine. You have mentioned less than or equals to n. Okay, fine. Less than n. Still, like I loop. I will go to less than n or less than or equals to n. The ith condition of for loop. Whether it is I less than or equals to n or less than n. Less than. Okay. So you're generating and you're terminating for next time. Okay. Yes, fine. Good. Your logic, everything is fine. Good. But try to make use of function. Okay. Okay, fine. Others? Kathy, just a minute, Kathy. Okay, fine. Number 2 then. And 3 are displaying. Okay, here. Karthi, whether the element at nth position is n2 or n3? Execute and check it once. Karthi, are you there? Can you hear me what I'm saying? Okay, someone else has posted. Both could be used. Okay, yeah, reassigning. Okay, fine, 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 Karthi. I believe some latency differences there. After a long time, I'm getting your response. Okay, fine, fine. And next, Manikant, your answer. Manikant, where is this one? Calculating this number of digit. You missed the calculation part. Alex, half the code is there. Where is the remaining code? Remaining part is missing. What about others? I hardly received 2 or 3 responses. What about others, guys? So I'll wait for 2 more minutes. Try to complete soon. Else we'll start discussing here. So if at all you're stuck up somewhere, you can let me know, guys. I'll help you out. And Manikant, here in your program, you are starting I value from 4, right? So you should start with 2. The first two numbers has been initialized. You can start from 2. No need of starting from 4. Starting from 2 is sufficient. So among 40, hardly 3. Remaining 37 members. What happened to you people? Make it faster. Fine. Shall we discuss here, guys? Respond me. Shall we start discussing here? Are you people still trying? Yes, right. Okay, we'll start discussing. What happened? Only one is responding. What about others? Just give me a minute. Application is getting loaded. I'll just share you the editor. So we'll start, as I said, we'll be doing by using C programming. So since many were convenient with C, I'm making use of C. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So fine, new empty file. So let me save this. Here just a minute, guys. The previous session is there. So let me create a new folder for you people for these 6 days training. Okay, let me name it later. So here the today day 1 program, whatever you're doing, let me put in a separate file. Okay. You can just name it as fibo.c. Okay. Okay. Let's start doing here, guys. Listen here. So first, let me write the skeleton of it. So skeleton is written int main. Okay. So this is done. So followed by it, what is the thing you're supposed to accept from the user? I'm supposed to accept only one number, right? So let me declare a variable called n. So this is a one which you're going to accept from user. Okay, this is declared. And here, and I know that we are going to start our iteration. So the series is going to be like 0, 1. The first two number has to be initialized. So here, what I'll do is I'll just initialize your number 1 for my number generation. Let me mention your number 1 as -1. And I'm going to declare two number like number 1 and number 2. And I'm going to initialize -1 and 1 for my generation. This is for generation of the series. I'm going to make use of it. So I told you, right, you can either directly initialize 0, 1, or you can just start your this particular forming of the number from the scratch, like from the 0 you can form it. So why do I initialize -1, 1 here is even the number 0, I'm generating it. I'm not going to initialize it. I'm going to generate the number. So we know that the series is going to start like this, right? So this particular series, I'm not initializing. I'm going to generate starting from 0. So that is the reason I mentioned -1 and 1. It's completely up to you guys. Here I mentioned like this. So followed by it, let me accept the user input, enter the n value. Okay, so this is done. And followed by, let me accept input from the user scan of %d, comma, ampersand of n value. So this is accepted. Now here is our logic. So what is the first one we have seen? 3 series we have seen. Our first one is we are supposed to generate a series. So let me start generation of it. So let me give some space for your identification. So what is it I'm going to do is I'm going to generate it. For generation of it, I need one iterator. Let me declare I value and let me keep his value as 1. The reason of it is I'm going to make him for the counting purpose. What is the purpose of him I'm going to use? I'm going to make use of for counting. So how many numbers has been generated? I'm going to make use of this particular I for my counting. So that's the reason I'm making use of him as 1. So here what is I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate this loop until my I value less than or equals to n. So what did I say you people? I'm going to generate the series starting from 1 to n numbers. So this is done. Okay. Now here goes the logic. So what is it I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a number called number 3 and I'm going to add number 1 plus number 2. So my first number will be generated here. Okay. And I believe you even knows the swapping of it, right? The number two value will become as number 1 for the next time and our number 2 will become as number 3. So this is a process where it will be keep on going. So first two number like so what I initialize, so -1 and 1 are initialized. So this is the initial number. I'm going to sum these two. I'll get 0 as your result. So this is number 3. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize my number 1 to number 2. Okay, and number 2 to result. Okay, again these two number will be added and I'll get again 1. So our numbers generation series will be starting here. So this swapping is required, this particular reassigning is required. So this is done. So followed by it, what did I say? I'm supposed to print the series of it. So if at all I want to print the series, who is having the particular series? Number 3 is the one who is holding the series each and every time. So this is done. So half the first work what I have given is done, a series has been generated. So followed by it, what is it I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to print the nth number, right? So here, so what I'll mention is if my I value equals to n, it is going to execute somewhere till I less than or equals to n. I can complete my process inside itself. So when it is equals to n, what I can do is I can just mention printf, okay, printf nth number. Okay, I can mention nth position value is the number which belongs to number 3. I notice that many people use number 2. That is also fine. No worries. Okay. So this is done. So followed by it, for each and every iteration, my I value has to be incremented. This is outside a if statement. So my two tasks has been achieved. One is generation is achieved and followed by the number at the particular position is achieved. Now let us execute this. Then we can just build the program further. Okay. So now let me execute this. So just let me stop sharing the screen. I'll share you again with the output window. Just give me a minute. So where is the output window? Here is the output window. Yes. Fine. So if I give like the 8 as a value. So we know that the series has been generated. You can notice it. Series has been generated and the nth position value is displayed as 13. Now what is it I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to find the number of digit at the nth position. So we have taken this number, right? So take this number and pass to the function. So now let me stop sharing and let me go back to the editor. So just bear with me guys. There is no other way. You're supposed to switch the screen here and there. Okay. Now what is I'm going to do is I'm going to write a function for calculating number of digit. So let me write a prototype first, void number of digit, and here I'm going to pass one integer value as a parameter. So here let me do one thing. I have found this is the nth position value. So later on, after finding this is the nth position value, immediately I can make a function called number of digit and I can pass this number as a parameter. So now what happened? The number of digit will be called from here to there. So two tasks is done. Our third task we are going to write it. So now let us go ahead with your function definition. Even you can put this one also in a function separately, guys. So I'm just placing this generation series separately and this one separately. So here let me mention like void number of digit and followed by int Let me keep it as number 3. And here a common logic you're supposed to mention. Your counter value is 0, and let me have while number 3. So it is as I said you earlier, I believe I taught you. So the number 3 one, it is either you can mention like this or you can mention number 3 not equals to 0. Literally both are same. So applying a condition number 3 not equals to 0 or if applying number 3 as such, both are same. No need of writing this condition like this. You can just pass here until this particular number is a negative or positive number, it will be working, and once it reaches 0, this loop will be failed. Okay, until it reaches 0, this loop is going to execute. For each and every iteration, you're going to divide this number by 10. You're going to reduce the size of it, and followed by you're going to increment your counter. So counter is the one who is responsible for the number of digits. So what is that we will do? Those many times, how many digits is there? Those many times the number is be divisible by 10. So followed by it, we can just mention printf /n, and followed by you can mention number of digits in the particular position can be mentioned as %d, followed by you can call your counter here. Okay, fine, we'll execute it. We are done with the program. We'll execute the complete program. So let me close the previous output. Okay, just give me a minute, guys. Let me go back. So let me give 9 here. So if I give 9, what is happening? The series till 9 is generated. The nth position value followed by number of digits in the 9th position is 2 digits. So this has been displayed. Okay, this is the task I have given you. Series generation, position value, number of digits. Is everyone clear with the scenario or this particular program? Do you have any doubt on it? You can let me know. Shall we move on to next one? Respond me. Yes. Okay, fine. So let us go to the next scenario, guys. Okay. The next scenario, have we all discussed about the prime number generation? The previous classes, I'm not sure, but either half of the crowd might have attended and half of the crowd may not be. Just let me know if everyone is there in the previous session when I taught this one. You can just let me know, or if you're not there, you can even then let me know. We can just see to it. So if it is discussed, no need of wasting time. Did we discuss this one? Prime number and prime number generation and operation in it, manipulation in it. Okay, fine. Let me give this question. Okay, so here the same way, guys. Okay, prime number generation. So you're supposed to accept the number. What is our input is? Our input is a number. Okay, so like let me have a number like 6 or 7, some number. Okay, so our first test case is we are supposed to generate the number prime number in this particular series. Generate all the prime number in this particular given number. Sometimes they may ask like this. So first I want you people to write program for this, then I'll extend the program. So I'll give you the different scenarios here. Generate the prime number till the given number within the particular range. If 20 is given, what is the prime number within 20? First complete this series, I'll let you know the remaining series days. So this is one kind of program. Prime number generation, if number is given like 1 to 20, this is display all the prime numbers between 1 to 20. The same program can be asked in multiple series. I'll let you know all those things. first complete program for this generation of it alone. As I said, you don't make use of any predefined function. It is always wiser to make use of the user defined function. Just make it faster. We have a lot of questions like this to be discussed. So all the questions will be from the known concept only, guys. So what I am discussing is not an unknown concept. The questions will be simple. Okay. But we'll have small tricky part will be there. So make it faster. Make it faster. Hardly 5 to 10 minutes. Don't take more than that, guys. A very basic program I have given. So this is within the range. So this question is literally like within the range I'm supposed to display. Okay, within the given n range. Make it faster, guys. Come on, make it faster. 5 more minutes, not more than that. If you have any queries how to do it, just don't hesitate. You can ask your doubts. Who has posted the answer? Just give me a minute. Let me see to it. Karthi. Just a minute, Karthi. Okay, fine. Once it is visible. Okay. Setting a counter and you're doing it. Okay. Good. Guys, the same prime number checking can be done with different series. Okay. So for one, you'll be getting the exception cases here. Others, make it faster, don't delay. Kathy, you can do one thing, you can go with the next step. So here, the next step will be like generate n prime numbers. The next step, they may ask like generate n prime numbers. So those who complete first program, you can just go with the second program. So the same question, guys, but there is a small variation in it. The first question is all about within the range, and second question is all about generating n numbers. Both are different. Both are not same. So be cautious about the question when they give. Either within the range or n numbers. Make it faster. Guys, these are very basic program, and these are the questions where they'll ask. So that's the reason I'm just, even though it is a very simple question, we are just taking this much time to understand. faster. Computer person can post your answers, guys. Okay, Srilekha here. Okay. Srilekha, what you did? Okay, L less than L. Okay. Okay, counter value one, you're doing it. Yes. Good, Srilekha. Good. You're right. We can go ahead with the next scenario. Okay. Bhargavi. Bhargavi, here you're checking the given number is prime or not. So I didn't ask you to check it. I'm asking you to generate the next level of it. The prime number generation program, the logic has to be placed inside this particular loop. So I asked you to generate it. You're writing a program for checking. Just modify a code little. You will be getting this answer. Okay, try to modify it. And roll number 492 here. Okay, Python code. Okay, n plus 1. If L greater than 1. 492, what is L here? You have mentioned L. Guys, make it soon. Shall we discuss? You want few more minutes? Make it faster. Shall we discuss? Hardly like coding we'll have hardly like 5 or 6 lines, guys. Not more than that. Okay, listen, we'll start discussing. So here, the next program, let me add to the, let me mention the file name here. So let me mention prime generation. So here, let me mention, okay, followed by int name. So here, uh, we'll accept the first n value from the user. So let me mention printf enter n value. So followed by scanf percentage d comma and the sum of n. N value will be accepted from the user, and followed by here is the generation, right? So let us write a logic here. So what is that you can do is you can just have a two iterator. One is for the iterator, which is for supplying values. For example, if you're going to generate it from 2 to the given number, okay, so first 2 will be taken. You're going to check whether 2 is a prime number or not. Again 3 will be taken. Then you're going to check whether 3 is a prime number. So I need separate iterator, right? So let me do one thing. Let me declare two iterators. One is itr1, okay, and another is itr2. So let me have a two iterator, and this is for here. Let me tell you one by one, guys. Okay, so we'll start here. So this particular itr1 assign 2. So here we know that prime is so 1 is neither prime nor composer. So omit 1, start from here 2. So mention itr1 less than or equals to given number. So until the given number, we are supposed to find the range, right? So followed by itr1 plus plus. So this is done. This is for taking the value from 2 to given number. So this is done. So followed by it. So after taking the number, I should just divide and check it. So for that, I'm going to make use of one more loop. Okay. Bhargavi has posted the code just now. Okay, Bhargavi, I'll just complete this and I'll take it. Okay. So here I'll make use of one more iterator called itr2. Okay. And what that I'm going to do is I'm going to initialize with the data 2. And here let me mention itr less than, so itr2, right? So itr2 less than itr1. So I'm going to take a range from 2. So I know that all the number is divisible. I'm not including this particular given range. So I'm going to take a number from 2 to n minus 1 here, and followed by itr2 plus plus. So in case of C++, if at all you're not supposed to use of the predefined function, then you're supposed to use like this. In case of Python, what you can do is you can just mention the particular itr1 followed by power of 0.5. So this is for your square root. If at all you are using Python, you can make use of this particular step, guys, to go to square root. I told you, right, for a particular prime number, it is not required to go to n iteration or n by 2 iteration. It is sufficient to go to square root of the given number. And here also you can just, if required, you can just mention equals to by 2. So right now, let me write the common iteration, and later on, let me optimize it, guys. Okay, right now I'm not optimizing. I'm writing the very common logic here. Okay, I mentioned I'm taken the range from, or omitted the given number and the one value. So if it is a prime number, it will be divisible. The other number will not be divisible. Sorry guys, the prime number will be divisible 1 and itself. So within the range what I have taken, prime number will not be divisible. for my identification, so let us declare one value called flag, and let us assume that initial flag value is 1. Okay, so here what is it I'm going to check it? I'm going to check if my ITR1 modulo by ITR2, and okay, if the remainder value is 0, which means that the particular number is not a prime number, so immediately your flag value has to be changed as 0. So if it is divisible, it's not a prime number, change it 0, stop your process immediately. Okay, stop your process immediately. Else, if it is executing throughout the program, if the given series is not divisible, then it is a prime number, right? Just you can go ahead with, if at all my flag value remains as 1, and you can notice that if 2 is given, for example, the number 2 is given, 2 modulo by 2 gives you 0, but 2 is a prime number. In those cases, what you can do is, yeah, ITR1, if it is equals to 2, in those cases, I want to print the prime number. Okay, these are the two exception cases, guys. One is whenever my flag value remains as 1, which means it is a prime number. Okay, else, if my ITR value is given as 2, even that is a prime number. So just let me print it here. So followed by my ITR1 value. So this is done, and followed by, let me mention here as return 0 here. Okay, I didn't do any optimization, very common logic. I'm going to take a n series of value. I'm going to check whether it is a prime number or not. I'm taking the range from the number 2 to 1, the given number minus 1. So any number which is not a prime number will have a in between factors. Prime number will have only 2 factors, only one and a given number itself. So this range should not be divisible. If it is divisible, immediately I'll change the flag value, I'll break my operation, and I'll come out of it, and this condition will not be satisfied. Okay, if it is a prime number, this if condition will not be satisfied, and your flag value always remains as 1 throughout the execution. So now let us save this one. Just give me a minute, let me close it. Now let me execute it. Just a minute, guys. Let me execute it and check what happens. Something is happening in between. We'll check it. Undeclared return 0. Yes. Return 0, there is a typo error. We'll just modify it. Just a minute. We didn't give spaces here, guys. That's the reason. Nothing else. Fine. Let me share you the output window. So if I give the number like 50, what's going to happen? The number, the Fibonacci series, sorry guys, the prime number between 50, all the numbers has been generated, right? So to the range between the number, then within this number it has been generated. Okay, I believe people are clear with this. So let me stop sharing and let me come back to this program here. So this is all about generation of prime number within the given range. Okay, now let us change the question little. Okay, you may get the question like this, guys, the same question but different scenarios. The second question, now I want you people to work on the second question, generate n prime numbers. If I say 5, I should generate first 5 prime numbers. The reason for it is the first prime number could not be in a range, right? So if I say first prime number, it could be like 2, 3, 5, 7. So here just a minute. So 2, 3, 5, 7 followed by 11. So when I say fifth prime number, it is all about 11. It is not within the range of 5. Okay, so there is a problem with the iteration. You should consider about it. Okay, we should not say, we cannot able to set the range here. Like as we said early, go 5 iteration, that is sufficient. That is not possible. You should know the termination point when the loop has to be terminated. Now go ahead with it. If you have any doubt, you can let me know meanwhile. Yeah, Bhargavi, your code is right. But here, start your iteration from 2. Don't take it from, you're taking from 1. Okay, okay, fine. 1 and count value 2. Fine, fine, fine. You're right. Guys, write for the second series, generating n prime numbers. So here also you're going to have a 2 loop. Okay, 2 loop will be there, but the n number has to be generated. Make it faster. Hardly you can take 5 minutes, not more than that. The same logic, guys. Logic you're going to have, we're not going to have much difference. The looping you're going to change little, that's it. The termination point is going to vary. If at all you're overwriting the same program what I wrote, that is also fine. Make it faster, guys. Literally small change in the existing program. Make it faster. So here you're going to have a 2 element here. One is for your iteration, the same thing. So the initial counter has to be set separately, guys. The initial counter has to be set separately in this case. So you should be aware of it. Make it faster. The small changes in the existing code, not much. We don't have much changes. In the looping part only, you're supposed to do the changes. The remaining things are common. What happened? Everyone's so quiet. Shall we discuss it else? Or you want few more minutes? Respond me. You want few more minutes to complete it, or shall we start discussing? Are the people there? Shall we start discussing? Or you want few more minutes? Guys, respond me. So everyone's so quiet. I believe you people are doing it then. So I'll wait for 2 more minutes, else I'll start discussing. Okay, as I said, you people are doing it. Okay. Okay, try it, try it. Okay, fine. Manikant has posted the answer. Okay, lesson N. Manikant, this program, whatever you did, is all about the first type within the range. This is what I did now, right? So what is my question is that we came to the second question is all about generate the n prime numbers. So what I say here is n prime numbers will not be within a range. If I give my n value as 5, so the number will not be the range of 5. So 5 numbers will be like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. The fifth number will be of 11, which is beyond the range of this. So second type I have given you, this case I have given you. Okay, okay. Okay, make it done. Make it faster, guys. So I'll give you a few more minutes, else we'll start discussing. Make it faster. Shall we discuss? What happens? Srilekha didn't answer. Okay, Srilekha, yes, ma'am. Just now I called your name. Okay, fine. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me go back to the editor. Okay, just a minute, guys. Let me close this out. Okay, fine. So let me create a new file here. Let me save this prime series. Okay, prime series.c. This is a file. And followed by it, let us start doing the program for it. So as usual, let me write the skeleton here, the required field. Let me write it. So the required field, I'm going to write it. N is required and followed by 2 iterators required. One is iterator 1, another is iterator 2. Okay. So here, let me mention one more variable like starting value. Let me keep it as some single variable name called p and the initial value. Let me do one thing. Let me initialize these variable like p assign 2, which is nothing but my prime number generation. I'm going to start from 2. So those are set it, and as usual, so we here we set right the initial value, the number is going to start with 1. Okay, here let me do one thing. The iterator count, let me mention my iterator count. My ITR count, let me mention it as ITR 1, let me mention as 1. So this is done, and here is a process. So let me mention here like while my ITR less than or equals to the n number, the series, the n series I'm going to generate it. ITR1 is the person who's responsible for generating the n numbers here. So this is done. So followed by it, let me initialize my flag value 1. So keep in mind here, flag value initialization has to be done inside your loop. The reason is for each and every iteration, flag value has to be resetted. At some point, if your flag value reaches 0, if you're not resetting, it will give you the wrong result. That is a sorry guys, that's the reason you're supposed to initialize your flag value inside it. And followed by it, let me have an inner iteration like for, and here let me mention your ITR2 value starts with 2, and here, so let me mention my ITR2 less than or equals to, so we have a prime count, right? So we're going to start -1. So prime number count -1. So the range is from the same range case. As we said here, the range I'm taking 2 to the given number less than the given number. The same thing I'm going to mention here, 2 to, or I can mention less than p. So not just less than p. Okay, I can just make use of lowercase p now to avoid a confusion all the places. Okay, so 2 to less than p, I'm just taking the range of it, and so followed by ITR plus plus. The same scenario here. Here we know what is the next number, right? So each and every time I know what it till this I'm going to generate it. But here I doesn't know till p can be gone to any series, any number. So I'm going to keep on move the value. So here followed by it inside this. What is that I'm going to mention is I'm going to mention if my p value modulo by my ITR2, lowercase p, right? Modulo by ITR2. If it is divisible, then the same scenario, whatever we did here. So you could remember, right? So if it is divisible, flag value is 0, break it immediately. Okay, this is done. Else, so coming out of this one, the same scenario, if at all my flag value is 1, okay, and here I'm supposed to place my condition outside this one. So if at all my flag value is 1 or my ITR value is equals to 2, that is your prime number, I'll just print it. And followed by it, and here what is it I'm supposed to do? After printing this one, I'm supposed to increment my I value, this particular ITR1 value. So whenever it is a prime number alone, I'm going to increment my ITR1. If it is not a prime number, your ITR1 count will not be incremented. This is an important case. Okay, and one more thing here, p number will be incremented. So what is this p number? It is just a number. Okay, for prime checking, I'm going to take a number like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take it. So as I know that this particular prime number can be generated at any number, so just I'm keep on incrementing the prime number whenever I enter inside a loop. So if it is a prime number, I print it. If it is not if it is a prime number, I'm just going to increment my ITR count. If it is not a prime number, then what is going to happen is just your number is going to be keep on shifted to the next number in order to check whether it's a prime or not. So these two tasks will be done, and followed by it, your this while loop is ended, and followed by we are going to end our main function. So this one you should be very cautious about it, guys. The range within the range, it is very easy. So at this point you should be very cautious about it. So this piece breaking point when you test is whenever your ITR1 reaches your n value. When you feel that as many prime numbers till the n number it is generated, then you're going to stop it. Else it will not stop the process. Now let us execute it. So let me close the previous execution. So let me execute it now. So what happens here? It should be ITR2, right? So we are given as ITR. So let us execute here. Let me share you the output window, guys. Here, let me give a value like 10. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. ITR1 value. It is giving all the numbers. It should not happen, right? Just a minute. We'll go back. Let me check what is wrong here. So what is missing? Why your ITR1 is keep on printing? Your flag value is 1. Okay. Just give me a minute alone. As of now, let me reduce this condition. Okay, I'll just check it and we can just add the condition here. Should not, it is displaying all the numbers. It should not happen, right? All the numbers should not be displayed. Only the prime number should be displayed. Something else is happening. Just give me a minute. No. Even then all the number is printed. Why it is so? So why your flag value always remains? Yeah, ITR2. Did we miss somewhere? I don't think so. Logical error is there. I believe it is not entering inside this is the ITR2 is 2. So initially, what is the initial value of ITR1? Did we initialize it? Yes, it is done, right? 1 less than or equals to n value. That is also done. So flag is 1. So 2 less than 1. A condition will be true, false. So 2 less than 2 condition is false. Immediately this has to be printed as a prime number. So here, this ITR1 should not be printed, guys. We should print our number, right? So this is the one we are supposed to print it. This number will be of sequence like 1 to 3. So what is the number? That once you know the particular number is a prime number, it has to print it here. Here is a mistake. We made a mistake in printing the number. Logic is right. So during printing, we made a small mistake here. Okay, the remaining conditions are true. Let us go over with the output. There is no logical error, guys. During printing, we made a mistake. So now let me take 10 as the input. So what happened? The first 10 prime number will be displayed. Okay. So here, when you get a program like this, what is that we should be cautious here is, when is a termination point? When the termination is not known, the programs like this or which the termination is not known here, right? So does you know when will we get the particular number, at which point we'll be getting it? So in those cases, we are supposed to make a loop to run infinite time. So like this, you're supposed to make it, and the counter has to be satisfied with the numbers generated. So as many numbers generated, prime number generated, this has to be compared with your n value. But here in case of previous case, what you are doing, we are comparing with the initial time, at the initial result, we are comparing this number from 2 to n. Here we does you know what is the n value. So I'm just counting the number of prime, then I'm comparing those prime number count with my n value. Clear? Karthi has did it. Okay, Karthi. Okay. Fine, Karthi. Your program is right. Fine. Good. Shall we move on to next series, guys? Okay, shall we go on to next one? Prime number is done. These are the possible questions which can be asked in the prime number. Okay, the same way, let me give you some other scenario like palindrome. So I believe everyone knows about palindrome. So this palindrome can be asked for a number as well as string. So as of now, let us work for string. This can be asked for a number also. Okay. So here I want you people to check palindrome string. Without using any predefined function, I want you people to write your own logic. Okay, palindrome string, if at all the input is given, like you can take like any example like Malayalam, or you can take example like little. So output should be palindrome. The order whatever we read, it is a palindrome, right? The same meaning it is going to give. Some other example you can take it as car race or something else. So it is not a palindrome. Just write your own logic without making use of any predefined function. Own logic is required. So for reversing it and for this particular iteration, no predefined function. For finding the length, no predefined function. Everything has to be done by your own. It is very simple, guys, having an iterator from the beginning and end. Make it faster. You can take 5 minutes, not more than that. Someone has posted the answer. Just guys, just now I told. Okay, Python. Python, I want you to write logic. So this is fine in Python, just by reversing, just by mentioning slicing, that is fine. I do agree it. But try whatever the language you are doing it, write logic by your own. Step by step iteration has to be done. Okay, this is right. Make it faster, guys. Make it faster. Guys, it is literally having two pointers which runs from beginning and end. Make it faster. Don't use any predefined function. Write all the things by your own. Okay. Make it faster, guys. So since I said own logic, don't think much. It is very simple. Have two pointer. One is from beginning, one is from end. Okay, check for a equality for both the faces, front and back. So if it is equal from the beginning till the end, then that's fine. Make it faster, guys. Don't be quiet for a long time. Make it faster. Guys, in an exam also, they sometimes they used to restrict completely, no predefined function will be allowed. Make it faster, ma. Can take 2 to 3 more minutes, not more than that. Okay, who has it? Srireka has to just a minute. Srireka has to do it. Okay. I again make okay and minus. Good. Good, Srilaka. Good. Your logic is right. Good. So how this n is known? You are using n directly, right? You should not use string function to find the length. Then how the length will be calculated here? No string function is allowed. So n has to be calculated by yourself. Others, what happened? So quiet. Make it done faster. Only Kritika has posted their answer. Others, I told you completely avoid predefined function. Shall we discuss here? Okay, listen. Okay, we'll discuss. Palindrome. Someone else has posted the answer. Who's that? Karthi. Just a minute, Karthi. I'll see to it. Karthi, number. Okay, yes. What is L here, Karthi? L value is 0. Okay, L is H is L minus 1. How do you know this L value? You're using some L here, right? So what L value is 0. It is minus 1, right? 0. Just a minute. What is your L value? L value is 0. H value is 0 minus 1. It is minus 1. C programming minus 1. Negative indexing. Are you trying to do negative indexing here? What is the value of H you're trying to do here? Okay, Kathy, I'll come to you later. After comparing this, you can start doing here, okay? Listen, yeah. So here, we'll start with the header file. So as I said, no predefined function has to be used. I'm not going to include any predefined function, just skeleton alone. I'm going to add it. So as of now, let me just initialize the string directly, guys. Okay. So let me give little. Okay, from the user you can accept it if required. Just I'm doing directly. So here I'm supposed to check whether it's a palindrome or not. So for this, first I should know the length of it. So let me declare one variable called length. Okay, and here I'm going to make a for loop to start from the beginning, and I'm going to make the for loop to run till the end of it, and each and every time I'm going to increment it. So once it reaches end of the thing, the particular length will be, when it reaches null, your length will be stopped. So here let me take my len assign len minus 1. The reason is still null character is going to be there. So let me print and show you here as of now before going to next step. So in order to make you people clear, so let me display the length of it, guys. So actual length is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 has to be displayed since I have reassigned it. So let me execute it. So just a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the actual length. If you're going with index wise, only 4 element is going to be there. I'll show you the output window. So 5 in this is, you should go only to 4th index, 0 to 4. So I'm just making my len as 4. For null character, just I'm omitting it and taking the length of it. Okay. Now let us come back here to the code. So here, what is I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to go from beginning one pointer and end one pointer, right? So I can make use of one variable. I can just remove this line, guys. As of now, it's not required. I can have one iterator. Okay, like I as of now, and I can initialize this person to 0. Now I can make a while loop. Okay, I can make a while loop until my I value less than my len value. I'm going to execute it. So here each and every time what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if my str of I, okay, is equals to comparison. You're going to compare these two elements. Okay, we can check whether both the elements are equal, or I can check for not equal also. When it is not equal to str of what is the element? It is length, right? When it is not equal, immediately you can just print not a palindrome. Okay, immediately you can just print the printf. You can just print not a palindrome, and you can come off out of it by stating return 0 or breaking the loop. Okay, it's completely up to you. Return it or break a loop. No need of printing further. So if it is executing perfectly till the end, okay, so return will be a wiser one, guys. The reason is here I'm going to mention printf. It is executing perfectly. It is not going inside at all. In those cases, I'll just display palindrome. So when this palindrome will be displayed, if it is executing fine, at the end till my end, I'm not executing till the end. Till my end, I'm not executing this if condition, then I'll mention this printf. If it is not so, it will terminate in between. It will display not a palindrome, it will terminate in between. Got the logic? Very simple, guys. So one more important step before we fail to do it, it is all about length has to be decremented for each and every step, and the I value has to be incremented for each and every step. So moving in a forward direction, this and this will be compared. Okay, and length will be reduced to this one, and I will be incremented to this one. So this will be happening till your I value less than your L value. Okay, when this condition is false, and when you're coming out of the loop perfectly, then it is going to display it's a palindrome. If it is not so, then it's going to display not a palindrome. So as per the scenario, whatever we are taken, it should display it's a palindrome. So little is a palindrome. So it is displaying the data is a palindrome. Okay. Is everyone clear with this program? It is very simple. This is all about calculating the length without using any predefined function. The same way, I'm just checking for not equal. So this, as I said in the earlier class also, I told you that when I'm using prime number, if you want to break in between, you can make use of return 0. In case of your Python, you'll be having else part for your while loop. Here, we doesn't have any else part. So you can make use of return 0 and come out of the program. No more statement is going to be executed. If at all you're checking for equality, then we are supposed to make use of a flag value. That's a big hectic process. No need of worrying about all those things. You can just make use of it. Is everyone clear with this one, guys? Do you have any doubt in it? Clear. Okay, guys, fine, fine.